Welcome to Canard Boulevard. I am Scott, and today I'm going to take you along on a flight from my new airport here, 1G5 Medina, just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to fly down to Florida for a week. We have friends in Florida. We're going to stay at their house and take care of their house and their dogs for a week and then come back. So my wife and I are packed up in the Cozy, along with lots of bags and whatnot, and we're set to go as soon as all the traffic gets out of the way. And there's quite a bit of traffic this day because, as you can see, it is a gorgeous day for flying. It's nice and cool out, beautiful, blue skies, no clouds.
Twin, go ahead and cross.
You can see there's a twin there that was waiting to cross the runway, so I just told him to go ahead. Weather for the entire trip down looks beautiful, just like you see here today.
Medina traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima, departing 27 Medina.
Okay. Medina traffic, 81 Foxtrot's clear of runway 27 Medina.
Airspeed's alive, 32, 35, there's 40, there's 50, and 60, back pressure 65, 70, and rotate. And gear up. Pitch for VX.
Traffic sequence Delta is based on which is 7%.
And Medina traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima is departing to the south. Cleveland approach, experimental 797 Delta Lima, VFR request.
Experimental 797 Delta Lima, Cleveland approach, go ahead.
797 Delta Lima is an experimental Cozy just off of 1 Golf 5. We'd like to flight following in 9,500 to Kilo Uniform, Kilo Foxtrot, please.
Delta Lima, roger, stand by for a code. 797 Delta Lima, walk 7441.
7441 for 7 Delta Lima.
797 Delta Lima, radar contact 2 miles north of Wadsworth Airport, proceed on course, climbing KFHB 9,500.
7 Delta Lima will climb 9,500 on course.
797 Delta Lima, contact Lima approach 125.5.
125.5 for 7 Delta Lima.
Sprint 686, contact Cleveland Center 120.77.
47 here. Cleveland approach, experimental 797 Delta Lima, level, climbing 4,000.
797 Delta Lima, Cleveland approach, altimeter deck 3002.
3002 for 7 Delta Lima.
So it was a cold day aloft, and despite the new heater fan that I did put in, it did make a difference. It definitely blew a lot more air, warm air in, but the temperature of the air is nowhere near what it needs to be. It's just not picking up enough heat off the exhaust muff, the shroud that surrounds the exhaust pipe that gives it the heat. So I'm going to have to do some rework on the exhaust and heating system in this airplane because my wife in back was freezing, and she let me know in no uncertain terms.
7 Delta Lima, contact Indianapolis Center 124.45.
445 for 7 Delta Lima, good day.
Yeah.
105, Bravo.
Hang on a second, I got to talk to the Yeah, Indy Center, experimental 797 Delta Lima, level 9,500.
797 Delta Lima, Indy Center. Parkersburg, altimeter 3008.
3008, 7 Delta Lima. What do you need?
Is the heat on?
Oh, no.
So I turned the heat on, but and I could tell that it's actually blowing warm air up by me, so it made a difference. My feet were definitely warmer. However, it wasn't making much difference for her in the back, and I realized there are no heat outlets for the rear seat passengers, so I'm going to have to put some in there so that we do at least get some warm air back there.
I don't feel the heat. I'm freezing.
Let me see.
You turned it on?
Yeah, it's definitely on. Boy, it's only a bit warm. It's not that hot. Huh. Definitely on, though.
But it's not working?
It is. It's warm, not hot.
That's not going to do any good, especially for me back here.
Yeah, I don't know. You want my jacket to put over you?
This is 902 Tango. You want us over to the tower now? 902 Tango. Yeah, Parkersburg Airport, you got in sight? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yep, we got the airport in sight. No worries, and over 902 Tango, ready to terminate contact the tower now, 123.7. 3.7 for 902 Tango. See you.
And in doing so, I managed to knock the camera off its mount. So that was the end of all our in-flight video for the trip down to Florida. Unfortunately, except for this portion here that my wife managed to take video of the takeoffs and landings simply because she knew that the camera had gotten knocked off. So here we are. So here's our approach into KUKF, which is Wilkes County, North Carolina, an airport that I picked for two reasons. One, because it had cheap fuel, and second, you can see the mountains right there. And if we stopped before that, we would be in high elevation mountains and having to take off from a 5,000 foot runway. I'm saying 5,000 foot elevation runway. We're here, we're only at about 1,300 feet if I remember correctly. So this was about 2 hours in, and we didn't really need fuel. I mean, we can go for 5 hours with an hour reserve in this airplane, but we definitely needed a bathroom break and took the opportunity to take on some cheap fuel while we're at it. We saw some absolutely beautiful scenery on the way. I did see this forest fire, which was actually creating a bit of smoke at altitude. So, finished at KUKF, fueled up, had some free snacks inside, and off we go. And of course, no in-flight video here, just what my wife managed to video on the way. We had to detour around Charlotte because they wouldn't let me go through the Class Bravo, and then we went over top of Savannah and then hooked a little bit left to avoid a prohibited area. And here we are coming into Fernandina Beach, which is in Florida, just outside of Jacksonville, and this is where we will be staying for the week. Fernandina Beach has a beautiful, beautiful airport, 3 very long runways in a triangle, so no matter which way the wind is going, you got a good runway. The FBO is beautiful. Everything about this airport is really nice. And what do you know, a half-decent landing. You might notice that I've taken off my sweater and I'm now in a t-shirt because we're in Florida and it's much, much warmer than it was. So we put the airplane to bed for the night and spent a week walking around Florida, seeing the sights, walking with the dogs, seeing these amazing trees. They're just these 100-year-old trees with Spanish moss hanging off them, and they have them hanging over the roads everywhere. It's absolutely beautiful. We had a wonderful time while we were here. Spent lots of time downtown, sampled some restaurants. So it's goodbye to beautiful Fernandina, Florida. We'll be heading out and going back to the cold and snow and misery of Cleveland, Ohio. Just getting packed up, finished the pre-flight, getting ready to go. Lots of traffic here today. Some fluffy clouds. We'll get above that pretty quick and get on our way.
Fernandina traffic. Experimental 797 Delta Lima departing 04 Fernandina.
And of course, all good things come to an end, so it's time to head home. This is a week later.
You ready?
We actually were planning to come back the next day with the day following that as it was a reserve day for weather, but the weather at home in Cleveland looked really bad, so we actually left a day early. It's a good thing we did, because the weather really did turn crappy for a while after we returned.
Airspeed's alive, and there's 60, 65, and 70. Nose back and rotate at 75. Nice. Everything's in the green. Pitch for VX, no remaining runway. Gear up. How's our CHD doing? Not bad, 389, a little hot. It's heading there, 390. Oh, wait till we get to 1,000, we'll power back. I'll get through this scattered layer. Fernandina traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima departing to the north. Jax approach, November 797 Delta Lima VFR request.
Number 797 Delta Lima, Jax, say request.
797 Delta Lima is experimental off of Fernandina. We would like a flight following to Kilo Uniform Kilo Foxtrot at 9,500, please.
Verify the destination is Uniform Kilo Foxtrot.
Kilo Uniform Kilo Foxtrot.
What type? Experimental?
Experimental Cozy.
And Jax jump 6, minute from jumpers.
Intentional aircraft 1 minute prior to parachute jump operations at the Fernandina Beach Airport in 1 minute, 10,000 feet. November 797 Delta Lima, altimeter 3020, reset transponder, squawk 1622.
1622 for 7 Delta Lima.
District 5488, turn right heading 230, descend and maintain 6,000, vector toward final.
Right, 230, down to 6,000, position 5488.
November 797 Delta Lima, radar contact 5 miles north, Fernandina Beach Airport, maintain VFR at or below 4,500 till advised, say altitude leaving.
Leaving 2,300 for 4,500, 7 Delta Lima.
Thank you, I'll let you know when you can continue your climb if you'd like.
7 Delta Lima, thank you.
772, turn out setting 160.
160 heading, American 772.
You could see a light scattered layer that was just starting to form as we left, and had no problem climbing up through that. It was kind of nice to see. Nice little pop.
November 797 Delta Lima, altitude your discretion, contact Jax Center 126.75.
675 for 7 Delta Lima and altitude my discussion. Thanks, have a good day.
Niners.
21. Just cleared up Phenom in on the runway 4 on approach there. Reduce your speed if there. As well as practical for now. We'll get you in there and lower here for victory in a moment.
Roger, slow down for XJ 769.
Well, call, you were blocked.
Jax approach 797 Delta Lima with you climbing through 4,500 for 9,500.
797 Delta Lima, Jax, Hunter, maintain VFR, altimeter 3021. And what altitude are you climbing to?
900,500 at 3021 for 7 Delta Lima.
7 Delta Lima, traffic 12 o'clock, 8 miles southbound, Piper 8000.
7 Delta Lima has the traffic. So I was on the Cozy Facebook group weekly call last night, and it was on a Friday night, and they actually, one of the members emailed me and said, hey, we're talking about you and your YouTube channel, you might want to join and hear all the nice things being said about you. So I ended up talking to those guys for probably about an hour last night. It was a nice chat, learned a few things, so it was great to talk with those guys. And the one thing I did find out,
960, turn 20 degrees to the left, vectors climb.
I did find out there's quite a few Cozy builders who are building their airplanes that look to my channel and channels like mine that show flying their Cozys places, and that's like motivation for them to build their airplanes, and as well as, you know, learning what it's going to be like to fly around in their Cozy once it's completed. So I hadn't even thought about that when I started this YouTube channel, that people building their Cozys would be looking to this. But that's fantastic. I love hearing that what I'm doing here, I mean, I'm just flying around, going places, is of some motivation to you guys. So yeah, that's great. I'm really pleased to hear that. And how are we doing here? We're getting close to leveling off 9,500 feet, so we will pull the fuel back, lean a peak. Right now, doing 13 gallons per hour, and we'll come back to probably about 8.5 this altitude.
Same time, it's clearance, Park 91. How do you hear?
Jacksonville Center, roger. The center maintains flight level 200.
Jacksonville Center, Skyhawk, November 65628. We're with you at 6,500.
65628, Jack Center, altimeter Broderick 3020. And maintain VFR and report field set.
3020, altimeter 628. We're going to begin our descent down into St. Simons.
Maintain VFR, altitude or discretion. 7
There we are, truing out at 160 knots, ground speed of 162, and 7.7 gallons per hour.
91, how do you hear?
79 Victor Kilo, if you hear Jax, go to Jax 127.57 and acknowledge ident. .797 Delta Lima, contact Savannah approach 125.3.
1253 for 7 Delta Lima, good day.
Hey, departure exec jet 581 is checking on 1500 for 2000, a left turn direct Smalls.
Savannah approach November 797 Delta Lima, level 9,500.
Jet 581 Savannah departure, ident maintain 10-10,000.
Okay, here's the ident up to 10,000 for exit jet 581.
Second aircraft calling that answer, say again.
The 797 Delta Lima VFR 9500.
797 Delta Lima, Savannah approach, altimeter 3025.
3025, 7 Delta Lima.
Jet 581, radar contact 3 north of Hilton Head Airport, clear direct, small.
We're doing it.
And we're leaving this scattered layer behind, which we could see on the Garmin pilot chart. You can see the scattered layer there. And we're up here. And you can see we're about at the end of it. There's the coast. And out there is nothing but ocean for several thousand miles. And over here we have swamp and alligators. Don't usually get such a gentle crosswind. We're only 3 knots from 060, and we're currently heading 15. So if you look, the velocity vector is almost right in the center, that little green circle. Normally it's way off to one side because we just got wicked winds off one side or the other, but interesting to see that it's holding right in the middle there. I like seeing these guys here. It's 24,000 feet above me, and there is way up there.
Remain outside Savannah class Charlie.
This is Savannah right there.
Here, are we in the vector box for 10, or for your arrivals ahead of us?
Lots.
You can just make 360s there, 2,000, that's fine.
Lots of traffic right on the surface at Savannah. You can see there. The ones in brown are actually on the ground. This guy's, well, he's below us and he's just climbing out. So this little jog, the reason I am heading up to Savannah and then turn over Savannah is that there is a restricted area.
This is 2980, turn left heading 190.
So this kind of like
190, Delta 2980.
a little bit of a jog around that restricted area so we don't infringe on that.
Correction, Lifestar 1, turn right heading 080.
We definitely have picked up some more headwind. You can see we're up to 11 knots now, and so our ground speed is down to 156, even though we're truing out at 164. Headwinds increase. It's now a little bit more off to the right, so our velocity vector is now off to the left a little bit. Fortunately, we don't have bad weather today in Cleveland. Our original plan was to head home tomorrow with Monday held in reserve in case of bad weather tomorrow. However, the forecast for both tomorrow and Monday is bad with snow and ice and rain and surface level freezing. Just not good flying weather in Cleveland, so we headed home a day early because there's no precip today. We do have some clouds in Cleveland, but nothing we can't get under, and we'll get in there no problem. Actually, I'm looking at the weather right now for Cleveland, and it's actually looking better than I thought. I was expecting a overcast layer at 3,500, but it looks like our ceiling there is going to be a broken layer at 12,000, so that's even better. We'll have no problem getting in there. However, it looks like we have definitely got some clouds in Wilkes County. Let's see.
Correction 776 Tango, contact Jack Center 124.7.
Yeah, we got a 3,500 foot ceiling there. That's no bueno. The mountains above there that's not good. The marginal VFR. We may have to replan.
You're 6 from Agube, turn left heading 140, maintain 2,200 till establish cleared ILS runway 11.
And Columbia, November 797 Delta Lima, we're going to redirect to Kilo Sierra Victor Hotel.
7 is Lima, right.
And just as what happened on the way down, when I got close to Charlotte, they did not want me intruding on their Class Bravo. On the way down, they just said unable, even though there wasn't much traffic. They weren't busy. But this guy, he helped me out a bit. He brought me around a bit and then took me up and underneath the Class Bravo shelf at the top there, so it wasn't quite as bad as it could have been, but I definitely didn't get to go straight through.
Mer 797 Delta Lima, contact Atlanta Center 125.15.
7 Delta Lima, we'll go ahead and cancel with you now. We're fairly close.
7 Delta Lima, roger. IFR cancellation received. Squawk VFR for exchange booth.
Block 50R, thanks for your help. Statesville traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima will be overflying the field at 2500, turning to enter the left downwind for 10, Statesville.
And Statesville Region, Light Piper Sport, short final 10, touch and go.
Statesville traffic, Skymaster 15 uniform pop about 5 miles to the north, descending to 2000, setting up for downwind 10, looking for the traffic in the pattern, Statesville.
Statesville traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima on a 45 for 10, Statesville, full stop.
Experimental on a 45, how far are they? Experimental on a 45, how far out are you?
797 Delta Lima now downwind midfield for 10, Statesville.
Alright, we got you in sight. We're pulling up for closed traffic on 1070 Charger.
Statesville traffic, Skymaster 15 uniform pop is on about a 3 mile 45 now for downwind 10, looking for traffic.
Switches, belts. Okay, gear is in the green.
And Skymaster has traffic on downwind in sight.
70 Charlie Juliet, Statesville Regional, we've got the experimental in front of us on left downwind, and so there'll 2 of us on left downwind.
Skymaster's got one that's about midfield.
That'd be me, 70 Charger.
I'm just going to make this a wide downwind until I have both you guys in sight.
And Statesville traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima, left base 10.
500.
And Statesville traffic, 797 Delta Lima, experimental final 10, full stop.
Right, Skymaster has traffic on downwind and Plateau in sight. I'll extend my downwind.
And Statesville Regional, 70 Charlie Juliet's going to be turning left base now with the experimental on final in sight. Experimental on final, you a full stop.
Okay, firm.
So we taxied into this nice little airport. There was actually some other traffic, as you heard in the pattern, all at once coming in. I saw a little MU-2 here. I pointed out to my wife as an absolute suicide airplane. And we parked here and shut down.
Eventually.
This stop took a little bit longer than we expected because after I got fuel, I went in to pay for the fuel, and they tried to charge me for 38 gallons. And I know my Cozy does not burn 38 gallons of 100 low lead in 2 hours. So I said, something's wrong. And he said, nope, I definitely checked it. That's the correct amount. And I started thinking, well, I definitely just filled it when I left Fernandina Beach. There's no way I burned 38 gallons because the fuel totalizer would have shown that up. So that I thought, well, if it lost 38 gallons of fuel in 2 hours of flight, that means there's a massive leak somewhere. So I went outside to have a look, because if there's that much fuel leaking out of the airplane, there's going to be blue stains all over. I checked. There is no fuel stains anywhere on the airplane. I checked the G3X totalizer, and it definitely showed 19.2 gallons was burned, not 38. So I went back in and I said, there's something definitely not right. I told them, I said, my airplane shows that it burned 19.2 gallons. There's no evidence of it leaking. I said, are you sure your guy reset the counter before he did the fuel? And the kid was like, yeah, I'm sure I did it. I said, well, can you maybe get the books and check the start and end fuel numbers on that delivery just to be sure? So the manager went out and got the book from the fuel truck, and sure enough, it actually only took 20 gallons of fuel, not 38. So it was the line kid didn't reset the counter before he started. So I'm glad I caught that, because that would have been an expensive fuel up. So now I'm back in the airplane and it started up, and I've got a problem in that I've got an error in the communication for the pitch servo, which means I have no autopilot, and I don't really want to hand fly this airplane for 2 hours. I mean, it's not that it's turbulent or anything, and it's not the end of the world, but I'd rather have this working properly. So I thought, what is going on here? I figured that maybe if I just cycle the power of the G3X, that will solve the problem. So I tried doing that. I tried to turn off the radio master and turn it back on. Everything booted back up, and it still had the same error. I took a image of the error on both the G3X primary and multifunction displays, because it shows a different error. It shows the message box of the error. And then I Googled it, and I found somebody that had the same issue, and he said you actually had to reboot the servo. I thought, well, the only way I can really do that is just by kill the master for the entire airplane. So I'll just shut off the master, shut off everything. So that's what I did. Okay, so now the engine, of course, it's an airplane, so the engine kept running because it has a magneto on there. And once everything booted up, no more errors, and we're ready to go.
Statesville traffic, November 7907 Delta Lima, departing 10 Statesville. You ready? You ready? And we have 2300 RPM. Everything's in the green. Airspeed's alive. We got 40, 50, and 60. Nose pressure back. And there's 70, and rotate. Positive rate, no remaining runway, gear up. CHT is climbing, we're at 51, let's get some cool air.
Statesville traffic, ACLH could be flying over the field about 3,200 feet. About 4 miles a feet.
Alright, a little bit of a cruise climb, get our speed up, get the CHTs down. And Statesville traffic, November 797 Delta Lima departing to the north. Atlanta approach, November 797 Delta Lima, VFR request.
VFR request, standby. Who was the call sign looking for flight following?
It was November 797 Delta Lima.
November 797 Delta Lima, squawk 1752.
1752 for 7 Delta Lima.
November 797 Delta Lima, radar contact 12 miles north of Statesville Airport. What's your aircraft type and destination?
Aircraft type's experimental Cozy. We're looking for 1 Golf 5 at 8500.
November 7 Delta Lima, roger. You said 1 Golf 5 is your destination?
7 Delta Lima, affirmative.
Okay, maintain VFR. The Hickory altimeter is 3027.
30277 Delta Lima.
Well, Whiskey's got that traffic.
And here's the reason why we had to divert. This is the unforecast layer that just appeared over the airport that we were going to stop at.
Maintain 1000, the Roanoke altimeter is 3033.
Hey, if you haven't done it yet, click like on this video and please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out when you do that and helps me create more and more videos like this one. Why not do it now?
There we see mountains. Here's the layer that caused us to divert. The airport we were going to be stopping at is right below this. And then it ends at the mountains, so we couldn't really get out from underneath it unless we punched through it, and it's a pretty solid layer, so that wouldn't have happened. We would have had to turn around, go south to get above it, and then turn around to come back, which doesn't make much sense. Plus, we would have had a scud run below it, and it's only about 2,000 feet EGL, the base of it. So that was a good decision. We had to pay more for fuel, but at least we're safe. And it ends right as soon as we get to the mountains, you can see.
403 Atlanta Center, roger. After Lindez, their direct Parker.
It was very interesting watching the mountains suddenly rise up out of the ground. I love this area of country. And then if you look at the clouds below us compared to the cirrus clouds above us, you can really see the difference in the direction they're going because of the difference in the direction of the winds at those altitudes.
You know, we're almost an hour into this 2-hour leg, and we've got an hour and 15 minutes to go. And I find myself wishing that this was a lot longer because it's so beautiful up here. I'm looking at these mountains, and you see some mist over those mountains, and it's smooth and calm, and the engine and the airplane is just running perfectly, and this is just a really nice place to be, and I just wish I could just sit up here all day long. It really is a dream come true to be able to have this airplane and fly it around and go to all these places that are far away that you could never do by car in a reasonable day trip. So, you know, a 4-hour flight to Florida is a dream for most people, and here I am living that dream. So I am extremely appreciative of the fact that I have the ability to do this, that I can afford to do this, that I have the skills to do this, and the support to be able to do this. So I definitely do not take this for granted. I really love and appreciate this. That flying's been a part of my life since I was a little kid, and I don't know, I can't imagine not doing this. Alright, back to flying, check my instruments, check my engine, check my, you know the deal. Just for laughs, I thought I'd tune into VOR because there aren't many left, and there it is, I tuned it in, and I don't know if you can see that, but it works, I can hear it. There.
605, Pop Tango, Charleston approach, Charleston altimeter 3020.
See, I got a distance and radial. So there's my VOR. It's definitely working. Back when I first started flying, the time that I'm doing right now, just following the magenta line,
7 Delta Lima, change to my frequency 124.1.
24.1 for 7 Delta Lima. And 7 Delta Lima is up on 24.1.
Toronto 7 Delta Lima, got you loud and clear. Charles altimeter now 3020.
3020, 7 Delta Lima. So back when I was first flying back in the 90s, when I learned to fly and got my commercial tickets on, instead of sitting here following this magenta line, I would be sitting here tuning in VORs and then getting out my chart and triangulating and you know, real piloted stuff to make sure that I was going where I thought I was going. And that's a skill that's falling by the wayside, I suppose. That, along with ADS and LORAN, and I actually had to do an ADF approach on my instrument check ride, as well as a DME arc. So those things, I don't even know that they hardly exist anymore. It's a new realm. I can't say I miss VORs and ADF trackings with wind correction, you know, angles and all that nonsense. I definitely fully embrace GPS and modern navigation and modern instrumentation avionics. I definitely wouldn't want to go back. Follow the line, follow the flight director.
Maintain 8,355 on course.
It's all good. So here's this guy coming across at 27,000 feet above me. United Airlines 358. And there he is. Curving a trail across the sky. Look at this, we've been flying for an hour, and according to this, we've used 9.9 gallons, that's including the climb to 8,500 feet, which means I have 42 gallons remaining, and at this burn rate, I have 4 hours and 58 minutes endurance remaining, which means I actually started with 6 hours remaining, or 6 hours of fuel at this speed. I don't have a 6-hour bladder, however, and of course you're not going to fly 6 hours because you'd run out of fuel, but even 5 hours, it's just incredible that I've been flying for an hour and not including wind.
737 Alpha Alpha, I would like to cancel flight following, we have a change of plan.
And even with 5 hours remaining, that would get me 800 nautical miles to go, and we've already gone at least a couple hundred nautical miles, so that's pretty incredible. Very efficient airplane. We're getting 22 miles per gallon, it calculates, so that's pretty good for an airplane. Very, very efficient airplane, very fast. This is a cross-country monster, this airplane. I really love it. Love this airplane. When I was a young kid in Canada, and I'm talking like 12 or 13, there wasn't the internet, so they had CompuServe, and on the CompuServe system, I was 75616,570. That was my ID. I still remember it.
2190 Lima.
They had a CB simulator where you could talk and chat in text with other people from around the world. I started talking to this young girl my age, and we ended up spending hours chatting back and forth. and she was from Parkersburg, West Virginia, and I always thought, I wonder where that is, I'll never be there. Well, there it is, there's Parkersburg. There's Parkersburg, West Virginia, right there. So, it took me 40 years or so to get here, but here I am. And by the way, this is all being shot on the INNOVV K6 camera, which I did a review on recently. I'll put a link to that review in this description of this video. And you can win your own INNOVV K6 beginning December 1st. I have a contest where I will be giving away one of these INNOVV K6 camera systems for free. So if you want to win this INNOVV K6 camera system, go to the video where I do the review. There's links to the contest and more information there. And you can see where I've got it set up in mine. I've got it mounted in the bow right above in the canopy there, and I've got a GoPro mount that's got it facing forward, and that's my forward-facing camera. And of course, this is a little, right now I'm using it as a handheld. I don't know what I'll end up using it for, but I could mount it somewhere. I could end just keeping it as a handheld. But anyway, so if you want one of these INNOVV K6 camera systems for free, check out that video and enter the contest. It goes from December 1st to December 31st. Here we are, leaving behind the glorious, sunny, blue skies of southern Ohio and heading towards the perpetual gray overcast that is Cleveland in winter. So you can see that overcast, and that's pretty much what we see all winter long in Cleveland. The sun just goes away and we don't see it again for a few months. Unless we come down here to southern Ohio, which we see sun and blue skies. It really kind of sucks in Cleveland in the winter.
Delta Lima, contact Cleveland, approach 9125.5, and have a great day.
125.5 for 7 Delta Lima, thanks for your help. Cleveland approach 707 Delta Lima, 8,500.
November 707 Delta Lima, Cleveland first. Actor again, altimeter 3036.
30237 Delta Lima.
The overcast layer that we're coming underneath here is actually quite a bit higher than forecast, so that was nice to see as well.
Clear approach, 797 Delta Lima has the field in sight. We'll go ahead and cancel with you.
November 7 Delta Lima, roger, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change group, have a good day.
Squawk VFR, thanks for your help. Medina traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima is 10 to the south, inbound. We'll be crossing over the field, join left down for runway 9 Medina. It is cold. We got a temperature inversion here because the farther down we go, the colder it's getting. We're only at 34 degrees here now, and the meager heat in this airplane is definitely not keeping up. It is frigid in here. Medina traffic, November 797 Delta Lima, experimental crossing over the field 2700. We'll be joining the left downwind for runway 9 Medina.
Medina traffic, 6543 Echo is back taxiing 9 then. Traffic at Medina, where are you at?
We are now north of the field. We're going to be turning back inbound to join the 45 for runway 9 downwind.
Okay, 43 Echo departing runway 9 or Medina.
Dyna traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima on the 45 for the downwind runway 9 Medina. Dyna traffic, experimental 797 Delta Lima downwind, runway 9 Medina. Dyna traffic, November 797 Delta Lima, base, runway 9, full stop.
43 Echo has a traffic turning base site where it departs to the southwest over the airport.
Dyna traffic, November 797 Delta Lima, turning final, full stop, runway 9 Medina.
So that was the end of our Florida trip. A beautiful flight down, beautiful flight back. We managed to skip the weather that was to arrive the next day and hang on for a few days after that. We got to see a really beautiful yak sitting here as we taxied in. I love having the advanced avionics that you can pick up weather en route that let you make decisions long before you need to. The fact that we had one forecast that was showing our UKF airport as being perfectly fine, and then an hour into the flight I could see that actually no, it's not going to be fine at all, we have to divert. And being able to make that decision so much earlier on is really amazing and great in terms of safety. So I hope you liked this video. Thanks for flying along with me. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. And please do click subscribe and like. It really helps me out when you do that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.